High above Saturn's north pole lies a natural wonder that has baffled scientists for decades. A perfect, massive, hexagon-shaped storm, discovered by NASA's Voyager mission in the 1980s. This geometric anomaly stretches nearly 20,000 miles across. But more puzzling yet is the fact that long before modern astronomy, ancient scribes were somehow aware of Saturn's hexagon, because throughout history, hexagonal and cube-shaped symbols have appeared in religious artifacts and ancient architecture in connection to Saturn. The hexagon is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional cube, a shape which dominates our world in ways both sacred and strange. In Islam, pilgrims at Mecca's holy site circle the Kaaba, a giant black cube, 7 times counterclockwise as the rings of Saturn move. Judaism refers to the hexagram or the Star of David, and even Christianity's cross is the unfolded pattern of a cube. Look closer and you'll see the symbology all over pop culture, subtly referencing the black cube. In Greco-Roman mythology, Saturn takes other forms. Kronos, the god of time, representing an unstoppable force, aging, decay, and mortality. He's depicted as devouring his own children, a metaphor for the passage of time destroying everything it creates. But in a yet more ancient myth, he is said to have ruled over a golden age of humanity before being defeated by his son, Zeus. That Saturn governed the golden age is a supreme tenet of the ancient mysteries. This is why the most sacred day of the week, commemorating the primordial era, was dedicated to Saturn. The Hebrew Sabbath, the 7th day, was the day of Saturn, as was the 7th day of the Babylonian and Phoenician weeks. For the Romans, the 7th day was Saturni Dies, Saturn's day. This was the Anglo-Saxon day of Satur, which of course became our Saturn day. The connection between Saturn and the creator, king, or supreme deity across various ancient traditions is a fascinating subject in comparative mythology. El, considered the supreme deity of the Canaanites and often associated with Yahweh in early Hebrew traditions, was linked to Saturn. Yima, the Iranian counterpart of Yama, is connected to the Golden Age and often symbolizes a Saturnian figure. Zurvan, the god of infinite time and space in Zoroastrianism, is linked to Saturn as a heaven-sustaining deity. In astrology, Saturn once again shows its horns as Capricorn and is linked to discipline, challenges, and life lessons. The Saturnian return happens around the age of 29 and a half, which is how long it takes Saturn to orbit the Sun. This period is seen as a major turning point in one's life, marking a transition into adulthood. Each time Saturn returns to the same spot in the sky, about every 29 years, it signals a new phase of personal growth. In ancient times, Saturn may not have been the dim, distant planet we see today. Researchers like David Talbot and others studying the ancient texts suggest Saturn once played a central role in Earth's sky, as evident by ancient historian accounts of the past skies suggesting Saturn was much closer or brighter than it is today.
Early star worshippers speak of a great light of heaven, motionless in the sky, the Egyptian Atum or Atum Ra, the Sumerian An, the Babylonian Anu. And enigmatically, early astronomers knew the overarching figure as the planet Saturn.
Immanuel Velikovsky, for example, believes Saturn was once a dwarf star which exploded and collapsed into the gas giant of our skies. Such an explosion would have lasted many years and would have been quite noticeable, even from Earth. But Saturn's influence may go beyond myth. Modern science hints at the possibility of planetary influence. A groundbreaking study showed that radiation from distant stars could alter the genetic code of fruit flies. Are we that much different than fruit flies? What if Saturn's radiation, or even its unique magnetic field, subtly influences life on Earth? During its flyby near the gas giant, the Cassini spacecraft detected intense radio emissions from the planet's aurora, where magnetic field lines thread the polar regions. These signals have been shifted into the range of human hearing and compressed in time, Listen for yourself to the sounds of Saturn. Scientist and consciousness explorer Isaac Bentov suggests the intriguing possibility that planets, stars, and other celestial bodies may possess consciousness. The idea is familiar in concepts like Mother Earth or Gaia and the ancient notion of the world's soul, which would extend far beyond our planet. Such a perspective envisions a vastly different cosmos, one where consciousness is as abundant and fundamental as energy itself. In this light, the ancient practice of personifying planets as gods residing in the heavens might not be as far-fetched as it seems. The ancients revered Saturn as a god, feared its power over time, and encoded its mysteries into their symbols and myths. From the black cube to the hexagonal storm, from time's prison to astrological forces, Saturn's legacy touches every corner of our lives. Saturn isn't just a planet, it's a symbol, a force, and perhaps the greatest myth of all.